They told him faith was foolish. They told him belief without proof was weakness. They told him to trust only what they could see, touch, measure and control. They told him hope was fragile, that prayer was wasted breath, that believing in something greater was a waste of time. But they couldn't let go, because even when the evidence was missing, even when the results weren't visible, even when doubt screamed louder than the truth, something inside whispered, "Keep believing." And that whisper had a name. It was called faith. They told him faith was blind. They told him faith was naive. They told him faith was for the weak. They told him faith would only lead to disappointment, that it was better to lower expectations, to shrink dreams, to accept less. And some days, they almost believed it. Because doubt is loud. Doubt is heavy. Doubt tells you what you hope for will never come. But faith doesn't silence doubt by force. Faith answers doubt with persistence. Faith speaks in the quiet moments, reminding you that unseen is still possible. That the impossible is only impossible until it isn't. Doubt said quit. Faith said wait. Doubt said impossible. Faith said not yet. They told him waiting meant wasting, and waiting was hard. The nights dragged on without answers. The days blurred together without progress. The silence pressed heavy on their chest. They prayed and saw nothing. They worked and felt nothing. They hoped and received nothing. They told them to stop believing. They told them to move on. They told them faith was empty. But they discovered something in the struggle. Faith is not tested when everything is clear. Faith is tested when everything is hidden. Faith is not about believing when you can see. Faith is about when you cannot. The struggle wasn't proof of failure. It was the ground where faith grew roots. They told them faith was fragile. But it was in the rising that faith became unshakable. Every day they chose to believe without proof, faith grew stronger. Every time they trusted the process, faith dug deeper. Every moment they refused to quit, faith became their foundation. And slowly, the cracks in the silence broke. A door opened, a light appeared. A small sign whispered, "You were right to keep believing." Faith didn't erase the waiting. Faith carried them through it. Faith didn't remove the mountain. Faith gave them the strength to climb. And as they rose, they realised faith had been building them all along. They told them faith would fail them, but faith was the only reason they triumphed. The very things they once believed in stood in front of them, real and undeniable. The prayers whispered in the dark became blessings in the light. The dreams that felt impossible became memories of victory. And standing tall, they knew the truth. Faith wasn't weakness. Faith was power. Faith was endurance. Faith was the bridge between what is and what can be. The triumph wasn't just in receiving what they believed for. The triumph was in who they became because of faith. They told them faith was foolish. They told them belief was pointless. They told them to stop waiting, stop hoping, stop trusting. But they kept believing. And faith carried them through. So now, the question is yours. What have they told you? That it won't happen? That it's impossible? That it's foolish to believe? Maybe they're wrong. Maybe your faith is stronger than their doubt. Maybe your next step is not to quit, but to keep holding on. Because faith is not about seeing the end. It's about walking anyway. Faith is about trusting the process even when it hurts. Faith is about believing in more, even when everything tells you less. They told them faith was weakness, but they discovered the truth. Faith was their strength, and it can be yours too.